What's up? This is Rodney Smith with True to Self Productions, and I'm here with my guy Jarel.
Yeah, buddy.
And we wanted to make this video just to let people know what we're doing in the city of Indianapolis, the state of Indiana, and hopefully nationally. What we want to do is help rebuild communities. And we want to start with the black community because that is our culture and our people. And what we've seen is a destruction of the black family. So we want to do things that aim at rebuilding the black family. And the only way we can rebuild the black family is if people know the roles that they must play within the family. And they also must know that the adults and the youth have to work together. So we're working on bridging that gap. And me and Jarel are actually working on a book called Bridging the Gap. And I just want him to speak on being my student, the things that we do in and out of the classroom that is going to help us and the people around us.
So in this classroom, as me being a former student and also being a TA, we talk about more about critical thinking. We talk more about life, about things going on in other people's communities and our community, what goes on in with power struggle and the economy and how that goes. And me as a student, you know, it's more important for me to get in touch with the people my age, people younger my age. Many people or many students usually see an adult usually taking the formal role of instructing and speaking. But for me, it was very important is that I get to speak and I get to instruct upon us students with my level, so they see that change can happen right now. That adults aren't just just speaking for no reason. That other kids actually believe in what is actually going around, and they actually see what's going around too. And me, being his student and also my closest friend, we both get to combat the situation. And it's more important for us together than us just individually. We can't get nothing done individually. It takes us together to make something happen.
Right. So what we do is he tells me things from his perspective, things that as a youth I can't see because I'm not a youth anymore. Things are different, and that's what we talk about too, that it's okay to be different and that we must use our differences to propel us to the future in a positive way. So he tells me things that I should try in the class that will help the youth, and I give him my opinion of how I think as an adult, and we use that to help everybody else. And what I do in the class too, I let him say things in the class to the youth because I'm confident in what he's gonna say, because we usually talk about it before he's gonna say anything anyway. We read books together, we write together. Like I said, we're writing a book together, and we're just trying to do things to help our community. So another thing that I did was start a music group as a marketing tool for other things that students do. So we created this YouTube channel to market the skills that the students have, because we have to push entrepreneurship. So we have students that are artists. He's a dancer. We have students that restore and customize shoes, make websites. So what better way than to have video media to market the skills of these students so they can see that it's fun, it's up to date, it's modern. So Jarel, he has things that he wants to do, so I want to highlight that. I want to show that off to the world. So what do you think about that, Jarel?
Man, I think it's a fantastic thing for us to actually just come together and actually do something like this. It's not every day, and everybody feels like it's just an individual thing, and we all just need to put things together. For me as a student, me as a person, personally, I mean, as a community, I feel liable for the people in the future towards me, so I want to help whoever is in front of me out to show them that I've done something at a young age that's very important, and to team up with an adult, period. I mean, that's not usually seen. So for this is completely different, completely out of the blue, and I'm very happy to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's something that I didn't have. I bet I would have been more into education and not schooling when I was a youth, if I would have had an adult take interest in something that I love and that could articulate why I should care about education and not schooling, because there is a difference. And that's what we talk about in my class. We put things in context, because I tell them if you put anything in context, anybody will understand it because it's in context. But most of the time, school is left out of context and education is left out of context. So I think that economies are not going to be built if there's no social structure. Meaning, if we don't know how to relate to one another, why would I buy from you? You won't. So we have to build relationships first. And that's what we talk about. We talk about love and how to use love effectively so that when it is time to do business, you're more willing to do it. Right? Like, things are simple once we put it in context.
I mean, there's only one race on this earth, and that's the human race. So everything is going to be a struggle no matter what. But how we conduct ourselves, we are responsible for our attitude, we are responsible for our actions. And we have to conduct ourselves appropriately to go forward appropriately. Otherwise, then we're just going backwards.
Right. Now, when we say that, what we are saying is that just because a group of people who happen to be black want to do things for black people, that means that we care about our people, that we're not racist. We're recognizing that in context that all cultures and races of people have a history. And in this reality, black people had the history of being enslaved, which means they were put backwards economically, financially, socially, and educationally. So we have to address that as black people, okay? So if all lives matter, then black lives matter. So blacks have to take matters in their own hands. They can't rely on other people to do it for them. That doesn't mean you're racist. That means you want to address the problems that exist in reality for your people.
Right. Exactly. I mean, it's not... Why we gotta shun away from us? There's nothing wrong with us. We don't have to shun away from this topic. This topic is very important. Everything around you has all types of inner meanings into it. But for some people, it's hard to talk about black problems, hard to talk about black issues.
Yes.
Everybody want to talk about black on black crime, but we live amongst black people, so there's going to be black on black crime. And if you live in the suburbs with some white people or some...
It's going to be white on white crime, right?
White on white crime.
If you live with Asians, there'll be Asian on Asian.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
So we can't just adjust the fact that it's just black on black crime. It's just being shown. No, there's all types of crime being shown against all ethnicities with everybody. This is where we live. So yes, there's going to be some type of crime and some type of issue. But again, how we conduct ourselves and how the information is put out very much matters. We want to conduct ourselves appropriately and bring the information to people that is correct. It's not wrong. It's not a problem. Yes, we'll be strict on a certain topic, but it's that topic that is very serious and important to us, and it's very important to you to know because it's left out information that's very important for everybody to know, because it's not just our history in general, it's everybody's history that's being either left out, taken away, and we want to address that in particular our community, black people, our history has been jumbled around, juggled. We want to get that back.
And remember, it's history, meaning it's everybody's history. If black people don't know it, it's going to affect them. If white people don't know it, it's going to affect them. It's going to affect everybody because we all live together. All the races work together. Different lands and continents have resources that other continents need, which makes Africa important because it's one country that doesn't need the resources of other countries, but the Africans there don't even control it. Something's wrong with that. We need to talk about that. So if you love all people, then you should care if people are able to use the resources on their own land. Nobody in America will want Russians or Asians here in America controlling it. So why should you stand for people being in Africa controlling Africa? Okay, and injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere. Okay, so we need to fix it.
Right, and I mean, why should y'all care about Africa? That's where everybody. This is the originate of where we come from.
Right.
We should care about it. I understand that it's far away. I understand it's from a different continent, but they're also people. They're also our people. They're everybody's people. This is correct. That's where we belong. That's where, I'm not saying belong, that's where we came from.
Right, okay? All of us.
So that is the motherland. That's the reason why Africa has never lost that name. It is the motherland. There's a reason for that. So for that particular situation, Africans in general have a long root. Some Africans have lost their actual root. It's been taken away from them. But Africa as a whole is a part of all of us. So we should all care about it. Because if diseases are going around, if people are getting sick, if they're not using their right resources to help them, but it's using their resources to help other people, well, that's not right.
Right.
I feel like Africa is just a place where we just get our stuff and then we leave and we use it for something else. No, we should be able to invest back into it.
Correct. That's correct. The people there should be able to benefit from the resources that they have. Nobody in their right mind would want anything otherwise. Okay, so these are the type of issues we talk about in my class because it is up to the youth to figure out how to solve the problems of today. They're going to be the next people voting. They're going to be the next politicians, the next doctors, the next teachers. So we must ensure that they have the tools to do the right thing when they fill those positions or when it's time to vote. Okay, so take interest in your own kids. Teach your own kids how to love, what love is, what family should be used for. Don't let the dominant society do it for you because you're not going to like the results. Okay, so I just wanted to do an introduction video to let people know why I created the channel with my students, what I'm doing with my students, and why you should replicate the same thing.
Yes. For very much parents, it's not just all on the child. Okay, we all have to understand that it's not just on the child. It's something that you leave behind with them. Okay, you have to put knowledge in them for them to express it in the correct way. And you are a part of your child. Everybody's a part of a one child because they've gotten all this experience from so many other things. What you expose your child to, what you let your child hear or say, very much affects them every single day. That's why they are who they are. Because at a certain point, they were a clean slate. And then all of a sudden they changed into something either good or bad. Now, depending on what that is, we don't know. We don't know how necessarily it got there, but it depends on what you allow them to be around and what you set around them. Understand that your child, in particular,